And I'll take point of order of executive privilege and tell you the first Tuesday has the Republican state party staff at the meeting and lunch. So we get to meet them and put in a face with the phone, the name, the voice at the end of the phone call. Yes. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I did see you come in. I didn't want to interrupt roll call. Yes, County Councilman Frank Townsend is here, who is a stand-up guy for coming in after I kind of dissed them a little bit over the weekend. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for coming in, Frank. All right.
Are we able to reconsider a motion? Is there
Robert's Rules of Order, second edition, 80 and 81 in the hierarchy of motions. It sets the discussion about.
Sir, that's the page, you referred to page 80 and 81?
Yeah, Robert's Rules of Order, second edition, is also cited in the index for Robert's appendix.
All right.
Appendix E.
I appreciate your effort, and I'm sure you two can straighten this out, but it's fairly universal. Anyone that's been involved, German just kind of, it's standard procedure that it trumps everything. So let me just put your hands up again. Let me make an executive decision again. All those in favor of adjourning, please raise your hand. All those opposed to adjourning? Yeah, we may not be out of here yet. All right. Yeah, now Robert's Rules doesn't make us vote. All right. All right. I'm just gonna say that we have more people that didn't want to adjourn than did. So if you want to adjourn, you can leave. And if you don't want to, no. All right. Now, is there any other old business? No. Good. Seeing none. Is there any new business? Yes. All right. Mr. Norris.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the standing rules.
All right. Do you have a printed copy for me?
I do.
Thank you, sir. What's the nature of this rule change?
A rule, I'll read it to the rules to require the chair to consult steering committee and or executive committee.
All right. Go ahead and, is there a second?
Second.
All right.
Mr. Chair, is that the same motion that we tabled?
No. This is a rule change. Right. This is new business. We haven't dealt with this before. And go ahead and read it, Corey.
So, number one, this rule shall not be construed to restrain at any time the chairman nor other party members from exercising their unalienable right to free speech. The only purpose of this rule is to have a consensus before using the name of the Lexington County Republican Party. The chairman is not authorized to, number two, sorry. The chairman is not authorized to sponsor nor co-sponsor events, nor in any way promote legislation, candidates, etc., in the name of the Lexington County GOP without first notifying each member of the steering committee via email or phone or in person of any proposed activity. In the case of an email, text, or phone message, the chairman must allow 48 hours for a response. Number three, each member of the steering committee has the option of objecting to any proposed activities or portions thereof, and has a duty to make inquiries about any activities that are done in the name of the Lexington County Republican Party. If there is only one objection or no objections from the members of 48 members, or 48 hours have elapsed after his making a good faith effort to contact the members of the steering committee, the chairman may proceed. Number four, at least 2 steering committee members must object to a proposed activity in order to put a hold on it. Up until the time a proposed activity is presented as a motion to the Lexington County Executive Committee, a steering committee member may, at his or her discretion, drop an objection to the proposed activity. As long as at least 2 steering committee members maintain their objections and no action is taken to override the hold by the processes described below, no action shall be taken on the proposed activity in the name of Lexington County Republican Party. Number 5, the chairman may seek to override a hold by consulting the Lexington County Executive Committee to obtain a general consensus by A,
Please keep down.
a vote at a regularly scheduled meeting of the Executive Committee in which there is a quorum and a simple majority approves the proposed activity with or without provisos. Or B, contacting and documenting, to be saved for a minimum of 3 months, emailed statements from executive committeemen in which a simple majority of the organized precincts do not object to the proposed activity. Point of information, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, you're entitled to address it first.
So, regardless of, I know there's a lot of contention about the issue that gave rise to the desire to change the rules. And I hope that everyone understands that this is not about that issue. This is just,
What's it about?
it's about ensuring that the chairman fairly and accurately represents the feelings of the body as a whole.
God, he's been over backwards ever since he's been up there. He changed, overruled everything.
Wait, he's got the floor, Lyman. Go ahead and continue, for us.
As I said, it's not about the chairman, it's not about our specific chairman.
Have you ever sat at that seat?
It's
Lyman, you can address next. Let him let him make his comments, and then he'll accept questions when he's done making his comments.
It's not about the specific chairman. It's not about Rich. It's not about Amazon. It's not about any of that. It's about just trying to ensure that whoever sits in that seat accurately and fairly represents the body as a whole. That's all it is. They regardless of whether they agree or disagree with me or anyone else.
All right, now, do you want to answer some questions? Would you be willing to do that? Sure. Go ahead.
No, unless something's changed, the steering committee is advisory only. Only recently have they had a vote. So the steering committee can advise only. This body, executive committee, has the vote. So you're all the way through, you said the steering committee, they're only advisory. They have no power.
Would you phrase that in the form of a question, please?
Did you know that? The steering committee is advisory only.
This seeks to amend the standing rules, which would, if adopted, would give additional powers to the steering committee.
This whole thing is out of order because the steering committee has no power.
Well,
they advise only.
Corey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me say, there is some substance to what you said, because the bylaws were just changed during this last convention to make the steering committee advisory panel for the chairman. So I don't know that, as written, it would meet those requirements under the bylaws, which cannot be changed by a standing rule.
Right.
So it would obviously have to be tailored to match what the bylaws require.
Right.
So obviously, I think, just as a legal matter, and the legal is where this isn't a legal matter, but we use legal concepts in trying to draft our rules and make sure they comply, and the rules of interpretation. I think obviously we're going to have to make some adjustments to the authority of the steering committee.
That may be the case. The intention is to start the discussion and try to find an amenable way to deal with. As you stated when we had a special meeting, this is not a new point of contention.
Question for Mr. Norris.
If he's still taking
If you're still taking questions. Sure. Do you, it's not my understanding, but do you have any problem with this resolution being altered? This is just the first reading, right?
Absolutely.
In order to make sure that it complies with all of those requests?
My desire is...
This is a resolution for the entire executive committee's use, regardless of whether they agree with the position on it?
That's not necessarily a specific question about the, for him.
I'm
It's
just
just, are there any more specific questions for Ms. Norris before we just go to regular debate? Because he didn't need to stand in the hot seat the whole night.
Mr. Chair, I move to table this motion until a proper resolution.
Wait, Mr.
Would
Hartley.
you be willing to put into that you can't belong to the Republican Party under any other name? Would you be willing to put that in there?
What does that mean?
All right, Corey, let me move that we go to the committee. All right. I'm going to take point of executive privilege and move that we refer this suggestion to a committee appointed tonight, and they will report back in September.
I'm not opposed to that. I won't with special department.
Right. Is there a second?
Yeah.
All right, so my motion is that we refer this to a committee. And, all right, apparently there's an amendment to a friendly amendment to my motion.
Have we determined size?
All right, the amendment is that the steering committee appoint the committee, the ad hoc committee for the purposes of proposing this rule. And I'm willing to accept that as a friendly amendment. That the steering.
On the floor to table this until they come back.
No, there wasn't, because I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry, Mr. Hartley had the floor.
Mr. Hartley is not a vote, doesn't have a vote.
He's a part of the executive committee. He's not voting, he's a part of the executive committee, though. He can speak.
So is he done, and now to me, I move to table this until
There's a
we come
motion
back
to
to the vote.
All right, well now there's another two motions on it. Irvin, what's my motion to refer to the committee, what priority is that?
I'm gonna say a little bit priority.
I hear you, Irvin. Now I'm gonna find out.
The lay on the table, takes priority, refer to committee. Motion to lay on the table takes precedence over a motion to refer to committee.
And is that, is it a supermajority required to last term?
No.
All right.
Lay on the table requires a second, not debatable, not amendable, requires a majority vote.
All right. Mickey, I recognize you.
Mr. Chairman.
I move that we table this until an appropriate resolution or rules come back, because there's nothing in here that's correct.
Point of order.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Wait, let her finish, I'll get your point of order.
I move that we table this until appropriate one is come back, we consider it in September, and there's a second.
All right, fine.
Mr. Chairman.
What's your point of order?
She made a motion to table, lay on the table, and then she's making a second motion now.
No, she didn't make a motion to table because I didn't recognize you. This is her first motion.
Okay. Well, so, clarification, point of information. Is there a motion to lay on the table, Is there a motion like that?
Yes, she just made it. It was seconded by
I
Lyon.
make a motion to lay the table, a table motion.
I hereby declare that out of order. All right, the question is, you can vote against the motion to table. The question is the motion to table. That's not debatable, it's not amendable. We either vote for it or against it. We can, it's majority vote, simple majority. There's nothing that says the steering committee can't work on this, and there's nothing that says I can't appoint an ad hoc committee to do it on my own motion. So, with that in mind, I'm not saying I will, but I'm not saying I won't. But the vote is a motion to table this bill. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? No! All right, I think the noes have it. All right, now, we're not roll calling, I'm calling that, and you all can argue about it later. All right,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I mean, you just can't disregard rules whenever.
I didn't disregard rules, it wasn't that close. You need me to bring in the oscilloscope in here to show you?
I call for a roll call vote. We are a party of roll call votes, on the record voting. We need to know where people stand.
We also are a party of prompt adjournments, so it's a matter of priority.
Where people stand.
All right, if you really want to do a roll call, I'm happy to do it, but still don't know what happened to the game.
She gonna have to fix it.